the National Movement for Manipur's Independence, the Revolutionary People's Front and its armed wing, the People's Liberation Army.
Welcome back to Knowledge Born, the channel where real stories spark real wisdom. Today's episode is about an unexpected edible disaster that turned a normal workday into pure chaos.
The state of Manipur, which is one of the earliest ancient states in the continent of Asia, including the Indian subcontinent. The sovereign state of Manipur has continued to exist since the Christian era, despite unlawful political and military occupation. The nature of the sovereign state of Manipur is, Manipur had been recognized bilaterally when Manipur entered the Indo-Manipuri Friendship Treaty in 1762 AD.
The political sovereign and independence of Manipur had been officially recognized by both the Burmese government and the British government as per the provisions of the Kheidemba Treaty, 1826. After the military defeat of Manipur by the British Army in 1891, the British government did not annex Manipur to its empire. This itself gives testimony to the unremitting independence of Manipur, despite the British and Indian interference in Manipur affairs. Manipur became fully independent and sovereign on August 15, 1947 via Indian Independence Act, 1947.
Later on in 1949, sovereignty of Manipur was forcibly annexed to India after the installation of a colonial government on 15 October 1949 in the soil of Manipur without repealing the Manipur State Constitution Act, 1947. Although the colonial government, without having any jurisdiction whatsoever, had passed a colonial order by Ministry of State dated 15 October 1949, it illegally and unconstitutionally dissolved the popular ministry as well as the popular assembly, the Parliament, of Manipur on the strength of the null and void agreement called Manipur Merger Agreement between the King of Manipur, who doesn't have the capacity and authority to enter into any treaty with the representative of the Government of India, on 21 September 1949. No referendum or plebiscite of the people of Manipur had ever been held concerning the annexation of Manipur in 1949 to a foreign country, the Republic of India.
The sovereign and independent political status of Manipur, which had been continuing for at least 2,000 years, remains under suspension with the intervention of Indian colonial administration. Under Indian colonial political process, and by the physical occupation of the Indian colonial army since 1949, the people of Manipur have been deprived of their inalienable birthright to determine their political and socio-economic status on their own due to Indian colonial process, subjugation, alien and racist national oppression. The predominantly Mongoloid population of Manipur has been subjugated by the Indian racist and colonial regime. Since 1949 onwards till today, not a single day has ever passed in Manipur without the repressive measures taken by the Indian colonial army by torturing, insulting, or extrajudicially murdering the indigenous people of Manipur. It may be added that the Indian colonial regime has been guided by sacred religious scriptures, like the Manusmriti. The people of Manipur are not Hindu Sudras, but Mongolians. From their inbuilt mental perspective, they cannot help but to conceive every people of Manipur as Sudra, who is to be physically tortured and slaughtered. Hence, from the perspective of the Indian colonial army, whenever they physically execute any Mongoloid people, they conscientiously assume that they have performed a scared religious duty and right to fulfill the scriptural mandate of their racist ancestors. Therefore, the Indian colonial army and the Indian colonial political rulers have no alternative other than cherishing a heritage of conquering smaller nations and physically executing people who are not their origin. Indian colonial regime and the Indian colonial army operated in such a sophisticated and orchestrated way that the international community cannot easily understand or recognize the entire consequences of the overt and covert Indian colonialism. The colonial development process and the colonial economy had not been helpful to the people of Manipur. not a single major industry, much less an important establishment, has ever been established in Manipur, even for colonial objectives. Whereas several hundreds of crores of rupees have been spent apparently on paper maintained for the record in order to refuel and recycle their colonial apparatus. We have living testimony of the socio-cultural colonization of the indigenous people of Manipur by the cattiest and racist socio-cultural apparatus of India. In sum, the national liberation movements in Manipur have strongly endorsed the view that Manipur has socio-economically and politically been exploited by the Indian colonial regime, beside the political and military subjugation of the people of Manipur since 1949. The National Liberation Movement of Manipur has been physically and psychologically resisting the Indian colonial regime since the time of Indian annexation of an independent and sovereign Manipur in 1949. In late 1960s, National Liberation Movement of Manipur was seated. Thereafter, militant resistance had been physically and openly been started. The Revolutionary People's Front, RPF, the political wing of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, of Manipur, which was founded on September 25, 1978, was formed on February 25, 1979, and started operating for the liberation of Manipur from the Indian Occupation Army and Indian colonialism. The people of Manipur, through the National Liberation Movement, have been urging for the exercise of their right to self-determination, so that the people of Manipur, by themselves, can determine their own future destiny and implement their future economic and socio-cultural plans successfully without any colonial intervention from any outside power whatsoever. The National Liberation Movement in Manipur has not asked for separating a square inch of the territory of the government of India as it existed in 1947, before the annexation of Manipur to the colonial administration of India in 1949. Hence, the government of India cannot find out a reason whatsoever to level the National Liberation Movement of Manipur as a separatist movement. People of Manipur want to honor and disclaim the exact territory of India as on the August 15, 1947, the date of its independence, which in no way includes an inch of the territory of independent of Manipur. The RPF/PLA, deeply influenced by Marxism, Leninism, and Mao's ideology, received military and political training abroad, marking itself as a revolutionary leftist formation. Its earliest activists, known as Ojas the Pioneer Group, spent years in ideological indoctrination before returning to Manipur to build an organized resistance and initiate armed struggle for liberation of Manipur. Since then, the RPF/PLA started to build alliances with other revolutionary organizations across the Western Southeast Asia region, enabling a unified struggle against the colonial and hegemonic Indian administration. The RPF/PLA continues its campaigns against Indian colonial forces ever since, and maintaining a significant strength till then. Under the strict guidance of the party leaders, the PLA became the regularized, disciplined revolutionary force and reorganized its structure along military lines, creating commands, battalions, units, sectors, etc. The RPF/PLA has also established Women's Armed Force, WEF, and Women's Wing to ensure broad representation and participation for the betterment of the women and society for ongoing national liberation movement of Manipur. Modern arms and tactical training equipped the PLA as one of the most formidable forces in the Wheezy region. The first Congress of the RPF was a landmark event held between May and July 1990. At this Congress, for the first time, the RPF adopted a formal constitution, an organizational hierarchy, proper ranks and files, and comprehensive rules and regulations for the PLA, marking its evolution as a revolutionary institution. Heroes sacrifice, and the revolution marches forward. Long live RPF. victory to PLA.
Thanks for watching KnowledgeBorn. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real experiences and lessons from everyday life.